There's a town that lies nestled deep in the Appalachian Mountains in the great American state of Pennsylvania. The name of the town is White Ash. With a town charter dating back to 1714, it's one of the oldest towns in the country. And as you can tell from how hard those smokestacks are puffing, it's also one of the coldest. Thankfully, the people of White Ash have a secret that's dark and very deep. A secret to keeping warm, bituminous coal. From bituminous coal as a product ingredient comes heat, power, transportation, and necessities and luxuries almost beyond count. And where, you might ask, does all that coal come from? The answer is places like Alden Mountain and towns just like White Ash, where it's dug from the mountains by the hardest working men in America, our coal miners. But while an industry supports the town supports the industry. Here are two of White Ash's finest young entrepreneurs, Catlin and Kyle, owners of the Double K gas station. Coming or going, they'll get you there. But a town can't be all work and no play. Hello, Alec. Hello, Lillian. Where are you two kids going? Why, they're going to SIF's. Don't let its Nordic theme fool you. The most popular place in every American town is the local diner, and SIF's is no exception. Home to the world-famous Stack Attack, SIF's have been filling the bellies of White Ashians since 1895. Yes, White Ash, founded by men who came from the four corners of the earth, bringing with them innovation, can-do spirit, and dark, dark secrets.
Hi everybody, it's me, Miss Jen, here on The Experience, and this is Talking Shop, your connection to the cool books that are arriving in your local comic shop on Wednesday. We like to have you hear from the creators themselves so that you can make good decisions about what you need to call your local comic shop and tell them to make sure is on your pull list. If you don't have a local comic shop, you should totally get one because they're so much fun. They take care of you. They look out for you and learn the kind of things that you like and suggest them to you so that you can get them. You can use comicshoplocator.com to actually add comic shops in your zip code. Even if you're traveling on vacation, you're out and about. Everyone should be right now because we can finally travel about the country. So much fun. And we've got two back-to-back awesome interviews today with people that have three names because, of course, we got to have three. Three is good. I like middle names very much. We've got Matt Lowery up first with his awesome book, Life Formed. So I will say I've been looking forward to this for a while. So we'll talk about Matt until it comes on, and then we'll talk with Matt. So Life Formed is with Cassie Anderson. And it looks to be a really fun romp. It's sci-fi for people that love the sci-fi, and who doesn't, honestly. And it's coming out from Scout, which we love, the Scout. They have been bringing us amazing titles recently, which kind of like run the whole gambit of, Western, horror, sci-fi, all kind of like tailor-made to be on the big screen, honestly, or the small screen. It's the way I envision almost all of them. You even have like really funny ones and ridiculous ones that are a little bit outside the box. Thinking about things like Murder Hobo, just not for kids. But they do have a lot of cool things. I was just thinking, I just saw on the Scout site the other day that they've done some crazy, ridiculous things recently that I think is brilliant. They just launched a special box that is called Battle Damaged. And it is exactly the way you think it's going to be. It is actually, I think it's 10 or 25. I can't remember. Damaged books. Just exactly what you expected. Damaged books. But they have them for really inexpensive. It's a great idea for if you wanted to just like have a copy of everything that you could read and not worry about messing up. So you should definitely head over to scoutcomics.com and get one of those before they run out. I know that they're blind boxed, so you don't know what you're going to get in your 25 pieces or 10 pieces or whatever it is. But it's a fancy dancy box. You can also use the box for fun things, because that also says battle damage, which I think is so fun. I do spend a lot of time talking to them, kind of like behind the curtain, to see what they're thinking about. They have a lot of fun people that work for them, including, you can look them up on Facebook. There's a group called Girls of Scout HQ. And those are the girls that they're a group that have their own following. They're the people that, like, if you get packages from Scout headquarters, they're the ones that pull all their stuff and package it for you. It's so funny, because we were talking to them the other day about, it'll be fun, is like a comic book store / publisher Olympics, and have categories that are like, best packaging or safest packaging, like have people pack up something and then have some other part of the team like drop kick it or something, see what survives. I don't really know how you would line any of these things up. You know how they have like grocery store Olympics where it's like the baggers get to show how good they do at bagging? Just not for comic book stores. That would be so much fun to do, right? What would we do? You could like have like a pile of 50 long boxes, and you have to like see if you can fit them successfully. How many you can fit successfully and safely on a pallet or something? I don't know. It would just be fun. Like I'm trying to think of what other.
Can we play Flunkerton from The Office?
Flunkerton? What is Flunkerton?
It's the one where they put the boxes of paper on their feet and have to walk.
Oh, yes! Yes, I just feel like
they're a snowshoe race with boxes of paper.
What other kind of fun? You guys type in the thing if you guys can think of anything. What different categories or competitions would we have for comic book shop Olympics?
Best paper airplane made out of newsprint.
You could do like a fastest sorting A to Z of some random box of books or something.
No idea. I don't know. I'd be really bad at that one.
You'd be bad at that one? No?
Yes. Best long box fort.
Mm-hmm. Or you can make a throne.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. What else can we do? I don't know. All right. But it looks like Matt is here now. So I don't have to sit here and try and come up with Office Olympics ideas.
I thought for sure you'd have a billion of them already. Matt!
Hey, can you hear me?
How are you doing? Yes, everything's perfect.
Excellent. All right, sorry about that. This thing has worked flawlessly every time except for this time. So
it tends to happen. Yeah. I break technology even from afar, so I apologize. It's probably me.
Oh, no problem. I'm pretty skilled at it as well. So
if you have that point where like you'll be at the grocery store and only the checkout line that you're in doesn't work. Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah. It's been a while now, but yeah, I remember that. Remember that feeling well.
For a tiny amount of time, I thought this is when I was watching way too much sci-fi. Obviously, I had this idea that I might be able to affect like electrical things, like when you walk underneath the giant lights at night, and they just happen to turn off.
Yep.
It has nothing to do with us, but
yeah, totally, for sure. Oh.
That one time I came home from watching Matrix for the first time, and I thought I was turning all the lights green as I was driving down the road. It just happened to be doing that.
Nice. Did you watch this third season of Fargo ever, the TV show?
No.
Oh, okay. Carrie Coon's character, none of the technology will recognize her, almost like she's a ghost or something. She can't, puts her hands under the faucet and the water won't come out, and doors won't open for her, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I actually have that problem a lot. I am the one person in the bathroom that's like sitting there trying to get the paper to come out of the dispenser like this.
Yep. Totally.
And then I give up and I just wipe my hands on my body.
Oh, sounds very, very similar.
And then the next person goes up and goes, douche. It really works. Maybe I'm part vampire. I'm not 100% certain.
Right.
As good an excuse as any.
Yes.
So I'm so excited about Lifeformed.
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
I love tales that have like a family background where, like family members don't often work together very well. In this case, not really family member, but
Right. Close enough.
Family member. But do you want to give like the soft pitch for the storyline?
Yeah, totally. So Lifeformed is primarily about Cleo, an 11-year-old girl whose dad is killed in an alien invasion, and right after that, he is an alien shapeshifter who is a rebel who's rebelling against his people, takes the dad's form, and he and Cleo team up and fight their way through the apocalypse, basically, taking on the bad guys and getting to know each other. And so it's sort of a part coming of age story, part action adventure sci-fi, and hopefully hopefully goes from way dark to pretty funny and heartwarming all across the board over the course of the whole story. So and it's drawn by Cassie Anderson, who's fantastic, who had a book at Dark Horse called Extraordinary Princess, Extraordinary, about that's a little more youth targeted, but that did really well. So we've been working together for a while, and I'm excited for people to get this via Scout for sure.
Now, Scout has been doing an amazing job, by my reckoning, of picking really the perfect people to fit right into it. Because their stuff they don't have like a genre that they hit. They have every genre, but there just feels like everyone understands what people want to read, what art to put on the page. Did you approach them? Did you see something in them that made you think this is a good home? Or did they come to you? Yeah,
I kind of I think I approached them, if my memory serves right. It's so much back and forth happens in comics. Sometimes I lose the plot of that, but I'm pretty sure I reached out to Richard Rivera there, and I think that I saw a lot of folks that I really respect heading there. So that was a big thing. And also the fact that so many of the Scout folks are creators themselves, that, I feel like really, I don't know. It made me feel like they would understand. When I talked to Richard, I felt like they would understand. And so it was very appealing from that point of view. And then just all the stuff that they're doing with marketing and trying to do some different stuff is really we need to do some different stuff, I feel like. So it's I was glad to see that and see people trying something new. So
I think Scout's doing some kind of groundbreaking things, right? They're not the first publisher to self-distribute or have an option of self-distribution, but they certainly were the forefront of doing it in a really big way and making it easy to order from them, and having a lot of communication with retailers, because I'm one of them, and I just remember it being just so easy to know what was coming next, and they make it in a format that's easy to convey to my customer base.
Yep. For sure. Yeah, it's. I think it'll be. I'm very interested to see how it goes, and very excited to have a first issue out on the shelves with all the other comics. And it's definitely a goal of mine for a long time. So
how many issues did they split it up into?
Well, I think we're on. I think I have the names right here. We're part of the nonstop thing, so we do the first issue and then the collection. So
that makes sense.
Yeah, and I don't think we have a date yet on the collection, but we're working on both those things and trying to pack them full of some cool behind the scenes goodies and some bonus material, that kind of thing. So should be fun.
Hope them to make a cool video commercial.
Yes, that would be that would be great. Yeah. So
They're doing when they make them.
what's that?
They know what they're doing when they make them because they've
Yeah.
got some things out there. Right before we came on, we played the one for White Ash, and it's like a little mini movie.
Yeah, it was pretty epic for a comic trailer. I felt like, yeah, very cool.
So funny. I didn't realize until last week when I interviewed Charlie, which I've talked to him a million times, but I didn't realize until I watched that right before I interviewed him that is totally his voice.
Oh, really? That's hilarious. It's
so
funny how
it's your voiceover work.
Yeah, totally. That's interesting. Yeah, so like you only message with people in comics, I feel like text message. So it's not you don't know what anybody sounds like. It's pretty funny.
It's interesting. The other thing I've kind of learned over the years is that there's just so many people that have worked together, even on many multiple projects, that haven't met each other in person. Do you and Cassie know each other in real life, as other than just like messages?
Yeah, we do. We when we first met, we're both well, not now. She moved recently, but we were both in Portland for a while, and she was at Helioscope with Steve Lieber and his crew there, and so we connected and were able to meet in person the first time we met, which was nice. And lots of coffee meetings discussing plans and reviewing stuff. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to work efficiently and everything through Slack or whatever. But it's nice to also actually see your collaborators face to face and speak with them. Yeah. Good.
So is there a fifth grader version of you that started writing comic books very early, or is this something you came across and just were amazing at as an adult?
I read comics a ton in the 80s when I was a youngster. So sort of the post Dark Phoenix X-Men was my and G.I. Joe 20s, the 20s issues were sort of my entry point. So I always loved them. I always wrote stuff, and I did make some comics in junior high and stuff. But then I kind of got into music, started writing songs instead of stories, and that was sort of a detour for a long time. And then I was, when I turned 38-ish, I was realizing if I was going to ever fulfill that dream, I should probably get going. And so I just tried to learn a lot, craft-wise, and buckle down and dove in to a few different projects, one of which was Lifeformed. And it went really well. I learned, I got to learn by sort of watching Cassie, which was super great. Because I would the first stuff I delivered to her was very, TV style script, not real comic-y. And so seeing what she did with it, while I was also sort of schooling myself, was super, super educational. But yeah, so it was a sort of a long journey, with times in and out of comics. But I'm very, very glad I went for it, for sure.
Did you have an early mentor for the entry into comic books?
As far as the writing goes, or I think the thing that really clicked for me, with nobody that I've met them, but was not directly tutored by them. But when I was reading Bendis's Ultimate Spider-Man stuff, which was sort of what pulled me back into comics, 2004 or whatever, I was just really struck by, the whole, the deconstruction of that first that first wave of Ultimate Spider-Man where it's taking takes 6 issues to get Peter into the costume or whatever, and like you're seeing all these facets, and somehow that really spoke to me because I felt like I had kids and I wanted to be seeing sort of like normal life play out a little bit in the stuff I was writing, and I felt like in its way that really did that, so that was super instructive to me. And then I listened to a ton of Word Balloon podcasts, and so Fraction and Brubaker and Remender and Bendis and that whole sort of group of guys sort of helped me. I don't know, that helped me really feel like I understood what I was getting into, and that it would be what it is, not just the glory of comics, but the all of it of comics. So that was super helpful, I feel like. And yeah, so and Bendis's book was big for me too. The Words with Pictures, or Words for Pictures. Yeah, so, but a lot of it was just sort of trial and error and trying to emulate my heroes and then hopefully do my own thing after that. So
you mentioned your kiddos. What do they think about it? Are they into the genre of comic books, or are they?
Yeah, they started off. So they started reading right out of the gate with Tiny Titans, and they just our place is a wreck full of comics. They've been reading all their lives. I think like their favorite stuff right now is probably the current Runaways run, and I got them those phone book versions of like the old Silver Age Legion books, and they love those and are now back on their like sort of third cycle through Major Obsessions with Saturn Girl and Lightning Lad. So, you know, when they were 6, they loved it, and now they're 16 and they love it. So it's pretty good. They're pretty into it. I don't know if they care that I do it as much. But I do make them read my scripts and tell me if they, suck or not. So it's a family, I guess, a family business, if we want to call it business. So
has any of them surprised you with an insight that you were like, you know what, you're totally right?
I think, like, especially with Lifeformed, I didn't want to be the like mid 40s guy writing an 11-year-old's bad dialogue. I wanted it to be pretty on point. So they have helped me a lot with the, I guess, the verisimilitude of that kind of stuff, and just keeping me honest and telling me when something sounds like an old man saying it, not a young kid. And my daughter did just come up with a really good take on something. I'm blanking on it, but I show her all my stuff, and if she deigns to look at it, she will give me her feedback and often, points out what's working and what's not. And she doesn't have a super long attention span, so I can that actually helps me gauge whether or not what I did was very good or not. Because if she actually comes back and tells me that she read it all the way through, then it must be okay, or it must have something, So
looking strong.
Exactly. Yep.
I also noticed that you have on your webpage the Thoughtscape Comics Anthology. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that is a Kickstarter that just wrapped up, or not. It's not just that, but I just wrapped up a Kickstarter for the first issue of an anthology series that's stories written by me and drawn by a variety of folks. It is sort of in the Dark Horse Presents 2000 AD sort of zone, where we've got a couple ongoing series that will show up a little bit in each issue, and then 2 stories each issue that will be just standalone. And it's all in this sort of Twilight Zone, Black Mirror sort of vibe. And that's what the self-contained stories are very much that. I would say the ongoings are a little more in the 2000 AD, Rogue Trooper, Judge Dredd sort of realm. but yeah, that's been super fun to work with a bunch of folks all at once. And we did a Kickstarter that wrapped up. I keep thinking it was either like a year ago or a couple days ago, and I can never remember which. It's let's see, May 2nd. I think it wrapped on May 2nd. And we successfully funded. So that I just got the files, or just got all the electronic proofs signed off on, and that's off for printing. And will be also available on my website after the Kickstarter orders are fulfilled and whatnot. And I'm thinking about trying to get it out to some stores and just send out some free copies and see if anybody digs it and wants to get it to valued customers or sell it or whatever stuff they might want to try to do with it. So let's see what else. Yeah, 44 pages an issue, roughly, 4 stories, variety of artwork. On the first issue, I've got a guy named Dave Law, who is an amazing sort of sci-fi watercolors with Photoshop plus traditional inking and stuff. Super cool stuff to look at. Tyrell Cannon did like a black and white, just sort of all-out action piece. And Lisa Nafziger did a little Black Mirror, adorable dolls kind of that turn evil sort of story for me. And then Carl Slominski did a really sort of Twin Peaksy, sort of Doctor Who-ish thing. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. And I don't know, I had to look at it a lot when I was doing all the pre-press stuff, and I've read through the whole issue many times now, and I'm not totally sick of it. So I think that I think it's pretty quality. It's at least beautiful to look at. So yeah,
that's a really great sign.
Yes.
I've often wondered about that, honestly, about because I feel sometimes that I've either seen a Kickstarter that I like, but just I was not in a place where I was like, could actually go through and click on it, and I'll find it later on in my queue of emails and think, oh, well, it's closed now. How in the world do I get such a thing if I still really wanted it? So it's good that you're saying that it'll be at their website, so
yeah,
people can still find it.
Yeah, I think, and we'll see. I don't. It's website orders are always a tough sell. I thought it was tough to get people to. I mean, Kickstarter was way easy compared to getting people to buy one comic off your website. But hopefully, some folks will find it through that. And these subsequent issues are already. Second issue is pretty much done. Just has one story that needs to be lettered. The third issue is pretty much half in the can, and same with the fourth. So yeah, I'm hoping I can pull off at least 8 issues of this on kind of a quarterly cycle. So see what happens. Yeah.
When is the release date for the Thoughtscape Kickstarter?
I'm a little at the mercy of the printer at this point as far as getting an actual date, but I'm hoping to be fulfilling the Kickstarter by like end of July, start of August, and then as soon as I've got those copies, I'll put them up, and so hopefully early August, right around the time Life Forms out as well. So,
perfect.
Yeah, should be good.
I'm so thankful that you took the time out of your busy day to come and say hi to us and be able to tell us all about the cool books you're working on. Where, if someone wanted to directly contact you or follow you, where are the best places?
They can go to mmlcomics.com or thoughtscapecomics.com. That will take you to my website in either way. And I'm Matt MLPDX, like the airport in Portland, on Twitter and Instagram. So yeah, and I would imagine if you're on comics Twitter, you've seen my stuff fly by because I was pretty obnoxious during the Kickstarter. So should be pretty easy to find. I'm
weirdly in my 50 something, so I find myself on Facebook, so I was trying desperately to find you.
Yeah, there was some point where there was some Facebook business decision that I was finally like, yeah, I think I have to pull out of this. But yeah, I was. So that's the one place I think that I'm not. You can even find me on LinkedIn if you want to, get real boring with it.
Man, that would be like, you'd be perfect for our corporate IT job.
Exactly. Yes. Totally.
Thank you so much, Matt. We're going to look forward to August and be able to grab up those books. Put it on your wish list, everybody, your local comic shop. Make sure you've added it to your polls so you don't miss it. Do it now before you forget to do those things. And we are going to be right back with our friend Kevin.
All right. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
There's something for every imagination at your local comic shop. Visit comicshoplocator.com to find a store near you.
Hi, everybody. It's Miss Jen. I'm back here on The Experience to line up all the cool comic books for your pulse box so you know exactly what you need to have. Up next, we've got Kevin Parrott, Roditeli, all the way from Quebec.
Yo, bonjour, ça va bien?
Comment allez-vous aujourd'hui?
Super bien.
That's the extent of the French I remember from high school.
Yeah, so we gotta stop there.
It's so funny. Every once in a while, I'll find myself in La Madeleine, which is one of the restaurants here that plays in the bathroom, recording of how to speak French. So I'll be like, oh yeah, I remember this now.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and then I'll be like, the problem is I'm in Texas, right? So most foreign languages you're going to hear here are Spanish.
Right.
So my big problem now is that I get them mixed up. So
they're really similar.
Yes. So some of the sentence formation is the same, which makes it extra difficult, and some of the words are the same. So
right. I don't understand Spanish, but I know it sounds the same. So
how have you been today?
It's been great, pretty crazy because I'm making like some posts and talking to a lot of people because, well, this thing is coming out on Wednesday. So it's exciting, stressing, and I can't wait.
You know me, I've got the old school version.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much. That was the first book in the universe of Freaks now. Super cool. So if anyone got this one, you're going to enjoy this one. And if you did not grab the first one, it's standalone. So it's really for the fans that did get a first one, you will enjoy it. And for people that did not have a chance to get a first one, you will enjoy it. And if your comic book store, like you were, still have it on the shelf, well, pick up both on Wednesday.
Yeah, and they're both from Behemoth. So if you're trying to track it down at your local comic shop, that's the company you're looking for.
There you go.
Okay, so I have to tell you, I went back and about an hour ago, went through about the first half of this one to try to like reconnect myself with the universe because I think it's been a while since I read this when it first came in. And I have to say, there are some like serious thought-provoking ideas that come out of it. This whole idea of the beings that have multiple lives, and the formation of religions, and the gods trying to affect the people that are a part of them. And how in the world did you come up with such a big, broad look at just like it? And it doesn't feel like it's one religion. It's like all of them plus made up stuff.
Well, I would love to have the short answer that everyone thinks that I do a lot of drugs, but I don't take drugs. I ate winter. So first of all, I really ate winter, and I'm in Quebec, so we got a really big winter with a lot of snow. And most of the time, when it's winter time, I play Fallout and Borderlands, which were my two favorite video games. So it's kind of a mix of all those things, plus my influential French movies that can get really weird when you get into the art house French films. So it's kind of a mix of all that. And it did create this weird world that is Freak Snow. The first one was really touching all this thing about religion, spirituality, reincarnation. I was putting my takes on guns because I'm a Canadian and I never saw a gun, so it's kind of weird to release a book like that in the US and say, yeah, I don't like guns. So that was pretty much the point, and we had like a lot of touts, and it was my first professional graphic novel in some way. So like every first kind of creation, you pitch all your ideas into a blender and you get this thing. And I'm super proud. And it's kind of weird because this book had a reception that everyone that did read it, or actually the people that did enjoy the book, said to me, hey man, I didn't read it not just one time, but 4 times. And each time I was saying new stuff, and it just feels super deep. But at some point, I don't even know some stuff I did write in it, and some people are just like, "Oh, I didn't understand that from that part," and I'm just like, "Oh yeah, that's about that." So it's kind of cool. For the second one, it's a totally different stories. We're still in a really weird universe. It's the same universe, but with a character that's named Barney, and that guy is addicted to a psychedelic drug in a possibly wasteland. So he cannot be real. Man, you got to be crazy to be high on drug in a wasteland full of people that are ready to kill you. And that's what this guy is doing. And his best friend is a can of beer and a robot toy from the 80s. So that's pretty much the pitch. And we follow this guy into this big weird world. And I try to be artsy and deep again, but at the same time, I'm super dumb. So it's get this weird mix of, Freak Snow.
I mean, there are so many creative books and ways things have been told over time. It's got to be hard to get a niche that is unique. And this kind of feels like it, so did you like take a bunch of ideas and put them in a hat and be like, yes, rubber duckies and, gun religions with the god's name is cult. Sure. Is that how you came up with it? What'd you do?
And not really, just like it's came out on the script like that. I'm just like, oh, okay, that's the story, and I just write it like I don't force the idea that I need to make something edgy or bring like weird ideas and combine them together to make something cool. It's just like it's come out like that. I just have a weird brain, I guess, and that's all. I make those weird books. But I'm super happy with the Freak Snow reception and stuff like that. And Behemoth, we have our collaboration because I have my own imprint, Happy Tank, which we released this one. It's our first release of Happy Tank. The logo just here. So it's super cool that they trust us and they allow us to make those weird book, and that we have this niche intense audience so far with Freak Snow that love it and can stop thinking and talking about it. And it's super cool because those books, since we put like a lot of thing into it, it's created a lot of conversation on our social media, and people interact with us and just say, hey man, on that page, is it a reference to this? I remember like in 68, there was that at Woodstock, and I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about, but yeah, it could be about that, I guess. So it's super cool that we would create those type of conversation and kind of a cool following that is building. And I hope that this series can continue this adventure of building a Freak Snow family, because I think it's a book for freaks, and all freaks on Wednesday buy these books.
The art style for this first series is real. I don't know how I'll call it dirty, where it's like a lot, like even on the outside of the panels, it looks almost like on purpose someone's made it look dirty. It's not a clean cut anything. And it's just so engaging. I think it's probably why people are talking about that. They had to go read it a million times because it feels like there's stuff on the page. You have to go back and see if it's there.
Right. And it's something that we wanted, since me and Rob is the artist of the series. We both like really big fans of art house movies, like all the movies that you think that are boring. Oh, we love them. So, and we love those type of directors that just put a lot of thoughts and a lot of things visually that you really don't see the first time in their shot, but it's always like painting for each page. So that's kind of what we're trying to bring with those comics. An effect that you just feel like, oh, I didn't miss this thing the first time. We want to make this effect that some movie has that we just need to watch like 3-4 times to see everything, and that's what we are trying to do with those books. And well, it seemed like it did work for the first one. I hope it will for the second one, but we are super excited. And it's and the art style is totally different. It's still Rob, but we did go with a really different art style, and it's still unique and weird.
Yep. That's reminiscent of the first book. Yeah, it's still very it's so unique. I love it.
And we did go, for the people that did read the first one, we did go really crazy with the lettering, and it's the same thing for this one. Like the lettering is all over the place.
Mm-hmm. That worked really well for the first book to clearly be able to tell what is the gods talking, what is internal dialogue for the character, and what's the other stuff, characters that they come across. I think it's a really creative way to make sure that it's easy to tell what voice you're seeing, but not have to have the person speaking on the page, if that makes sense.
Thank you. Yeah, it's the same thing. And this time the gods, it's the can of beer and the robots. So they kind of have the same relationship than the first character, but this time it's because he is taking drug and airing those two friends.
So you were talking about art house movies. What is your favorite one?
I don't know if it's it's kind of an art house, but a really big budget. But Blade Runner 2049, it's a movie I'm totally obsessed with it. I know a lot of people thought it was boring and long, but the first time I saw it in theater, I did cry like for 30 minutes in my car after watching it. I was just like on shock. And it's kind of weird because I get all those movies by Denis Villeneuve really, really personal because that guy is from my hometown. So it's kind of inspiration as well. I'm like, oh, Denis is making those big fucking, I don't know if I can swear on that show. I did. So Denis is doing his big movies in Hollywood, so I can. So it's kind of, there is that, and I love what he is doing. So it's super cool. But yeah, Blade Runner 2049, after I have a tattoo just there, but we cannot really read it. It's French, but it's a French movie by Gaspar Noé, named Irreversible, I think in English, but yeah, in French it's Irréversible, which is the same word, but in French. So there is that movie. I love Nicolas Refn as well. He did Drive, which is his most commercial movie with Ryan Gosling. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Someone, we've got a comment that said Irreversible is brutal.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And I have that tattoo on my arm. Maybe one day I will regret, but it's there. But yeah, and he did a new movie named Climax. Super good. If you love like some weird French movies, go watch Climax. And they have like a pretty decent distribution in French in the US because A24 did sign the movie.
The thing that I think is so cool about that I've started to love about streaming services is like, I know for sure Netflix is this way, that they put movies that are from other parts of the world on there, and they just do dub overs or something. And so there's like some of my favorite stuff is things that aren't even in English. And for some reason, Netflix, like, you know how Netflix like suggests things to you? For some reason, it really wants me to watch Ragnarok, which I think I would say Dutch, but that's probably not right. But
I think you're right. I think it's a Dutch series or somewhere in that place of the world. But yeah, and it makes sense. The same thing for my books. When someone say to me, "Hey, it doesn't feel like something I've read before," I'm just like, well, because you don't read French comics from France. My inspiration are mostly from there, but I make books in the US, so it's feel like something unique. But the format and how I tell the story is really French, and that's why it's feel different in the US market. And it's the same thing for those movies that you say. Why they feel so interesting? It's just like every part of the world, we have different culture and, of course, inspiration when you create something. So that's why those movies feel more, when they are foreign, feel more interesting because, well, the U.S. inspiration and where the stories came from, you already know them, and you've been watching those movies that are actually all remakes of ideas and rebound on other ideas that other U.S. creators did in the past. And when you go to a foreign films or foreign comics, you discover new stuff because it's different culture that you're not familiar with. And that's why I think some people gonna connect on Wednesday with Freaks Now. It's different because I got a different culture. Well, I'm in Quebec, so it's pretty much the same thing. But we have a mix of the U.S. and the French culture because, well, we are a mix. You know, we are in that North English. We are in that English part of the world, but we speak French. So it's make those kind of unique creators like Denis Villeneuve, for example, that did Blade Runner, Sicario, and Dune coming up soon. So I can't wait to see his take on Dune. I'm so excited. and another great director in Hollywood right now, Jean-Marc Vallée, that do some of the great TV show on TV right now.
Like which ones?
He did one of my favorite movies from him is Demolition with Jake Gyllenhaal. Did I pronounce his name well? I'm always confused.
I think everyone says Gyllenhaal. Until I hear him say it, I don't know.
Maybe, but yeah, that movie Demolition is probably one of the best movies on depression, and it's super. Don't watch that when you're super low. Watch it when you're really happy. But it's a great movie about a guy that actually his wife died. And he realized at that moment that he never loved her, and he was just stick there because his father did give him his job. And for a lot of reason, he was married to her, but he just realized I did not love her, and he kind of restart his whole life after his death, and it's kind of a reborn for him. And it's super interesting because I think we all been in a position where we felt maybe not like our wife died and we just discovered life, but we all been in a position that we were doing something that we just, when it's done, we realize why I was doing this, you know. And that movie is about that, and I think it's super interesting to treat it that way. And Jean-Marc Vallée is a really interesting director. He did Wild, a movie with Brie Larson recently as well. So yeah, it's a cool director to check out.
All right, so you do more than just write on Freaks. So you have a very important position at Behemoth. Is Behemoth the company that's from Quebec?
No, Dallas. They are based in Dallas.
So how did you get with them and to do editing?
So they didn't pick up my first book, which is the Freaks Now that you have behind you. And we just started to have like a really close relationship. We said that we were working well together and we had similar ideas on publishing and our taste of creation. So we just started working together like that. And, you know, now with the internet, I can be based here and them in Dallas and we can work well on projects. So it's super cool. Now I run my own imprint, Happy Tank. We got our second titles after Freaks Now, MFKZ #1, dropping June 23, if I'm not wrong. I don't have a schedule in front. And after we got our third one, Cinnamon #1, which is an action cat comics. It's gonna be crazy. So check this out. happytank.co is our website.
Yeah, you absolutely have to. All right, so I need also the pitch for MFKZ because I ordered a bunch of them because I just like the look of it and the tone, but I have no idea what I've gotten myself into other than it's boss.
So it's a French comics that I decided to bring to the US because I love it. It's one of my favorite comics ever. To put you in context, Ron, the creator, is pretty much the Todd McFarlane of France. He's been doing MFKZ since 2006 and never stopped to release issues. So we are bringing the Run to the US. So in France, they're way more in advance because, well, he started in 2006's Run. But it's a comic book it's a coming of age with two characters, but one of them discovered that he is an alien, but he always thought he was just like a different human, but no one explained that he was an alien. And at some point, well, like any aliens on Earth, a lot of people start to be interested in this little kid just trying to survive in that DMC city, which is a dystopian LA type of city, and it's just crazy. Like we got some luchador superheroes. There is some man in black type dude that are running for that guy, and his best friend is a kid with a skull head in fire all the time, which you look like a small Ghost Rider type of character.
Yeah.
One of his cat, another friend is a cat dude. So no one is like a normal human in that thing. So I understand him that he did not believe that he was a human, you know. So it's pretty much that. It's a coming of age, and it's a big world building type of thing that every issues you discover new characters, new part of the cities. It's gonna be ongoing, and we release the first 6-part issues monthly. We take a small break and we come back for 7 to 15 or something like that issues.
Oh, that's wonderful. I like a good long series I can get into.
All right, you're gonna dig it. It's super good, and in France, it did sell 400,000 copies or something like that. So it's a great book, and for everyone in the U.S., the movie of Marchese is right now on Netflix. So you can go watch it before grabbing the issue.
All right, I'm nosy and I dug around a little bit. Tell me about Cosplay Fest.
Sure. You did your research. So yeah,
I'm a cosplayer, so I was like, "Woo, yes!"
Also,
I get to talk about costumes.
yeah, I do a con in Quebec. It's an outdoor. We have like a park that we full with cosplayers. There is 30,000 people that come every year. Well, we did not do it last year because of COVID, and this year we are allowed by the town to do like a small edition with 2,000 people in the park. So Cosplay Fest is back, and we can't wait to do it. It's we have like a big stage where we have performances by a lot of cosplayers that are also artists. So we have the classic cosplay competition, but we have also like Disney princess cosplayers that come singing songs. We got some manga creators that come singing songs as well, and we got like a couples of show like that, and we bring some intense cosplayer to have like the Batmobile, for example, or Optimus Prime, and just we normally bring a lot of cars. It's pretty crazy. We take over the town of Trois-Rivières, which is like a 100,000 people's small town, but still a town that we full of cosplayers. So it's a unique event that we do every year here in Trois-Rivières.
Does the city work together with you to help put it going?
Yeah, we work with a city that financed the event. If not, I will just be like crazy doing that with my own money and losing money every year. So it's a kind of cool all-age event that the city's finance and just say, hey, you nerds, do us an all-age show with a lot of superheroes and princess. So that's what we do every year.
I'm sure that you make lots and lots of families very happy for all those photo opportunities. They get to meet their real heroes.
Yeah, it's super cool, and there's so many cosplayers that come, and it's totally free, so everyone can come and meet the superheroes, and we have all those shows. So it's a special event it's super special for kids. You know, we see it all weekend long with the smile like that of all the kids, and just that is a big reward for doing this show.
Oh, that's so cool. So are you yourself a cosplayer? How did
No, I'm not into cosplay, but I'm the guy with the walkie-talkie and just being sure that everything is fine in the show, because it's really intense when you have like 30,000 people on plays and trying to be sure. And it's super hot because we do it in the last weekend of July, so we get in some crazy temperature, and we have like there is some cosplayers with really hot, like we have always every year, like all Chewie or Thanos, for example. It gets super hot in those suits, so we need to be sure that those guys are not like collapsing in their suits. So it's a super intense weekend that we just try to get to keep all the cosplayer alive, because it's getting hot in the suit.
Okay, so I'm from Texas, so I always wonder when other people say it's hot. What is hot in July in Quebec?
Let me check, because we are in Celsius, so I need to check what it is.
Googles.
Yeah. But yeah, it's getting around 111 Fahrenheit.
Oh man, that would burn you like the sun.
Right. Yeah, it's super weird. Quebec. We have pretty hot winter and super cold. Super cold winter and super hot summer. So there is no metal.
Yeah. Man, is there something that you do outside of comic books?
I got a marketing company, and now a happy thing that I run. So that's the two thing I do. I'm super buzzy, but man, it's so fun doing all those stuff. And marketing is always with creative company. I don't want to deal with stuff that is not creative. Like I will not do like corporate type of marketing with people in suit. I will just be bored. So it's I work with music labels and comic book companies, of course, and stuff like that. So it's super fun to be working on those.
Oh yeah. All right, so we've got 2 basically runs of Freak Snow. Is there another one you have planned in your head?
Yeah, I got a third one that kind of closed this trilogy of those 3 books that I will probably release in 2023. We'll skip a year because we're right now working on the board game of Freak Snow. So that's what should come out in 2022 in the Freak Snow world. And in 2023, we will have this 3rd series that kind of close the Freak Snow, my run of Freak Snow. And after, I would love to have like if the domain is there and there is readers that love the Freak Snow world, I will love to have like other writers and artists making stories in the world of Freak Snow that is not me, because I want to do other stuff even if I love my freaks. But like what I will have to tell in that world should close with a 3rd mini series, and I don't want to tell too much stories, and I just don't feel inspired, and I don't think that those stories matter. So I prefer to stop when I have something to say. But maybe like in the year I will say like, oh, I have 15 other stories in the world of Freak Snow to tell. But so far I have another one I really want to tell. And after, I will love having other creators to jump into the Freak Snow world.
I think one of our viewers is interested in what your T-shirt has on it.
Yeah, it's a tarot it's a tarot with a pizza slide on it.
That's brilliant. Is that one of yours, or is that something you just?
No, I didn't buy that at a record store. I was like, I need that.
It's brilliant. Have you figured out if have you done any Happy Tank like T-shirts or that merch?
Yeah, they are on the Behemoth website, and we should have we will have a T-shirt of Freak Snow that will drop at the same time of issue 3 of the new series, because we have a character that is a parody of Hulk Hogan into it. And we mix thing with Freak Snow and Hulk Hogan get into that thing. So we have our Hulk Hogan parody that will be on a shirt done by Lucas Kowalczyk. So it's super psychedelic and weird. So I can't wait to drop that shirt. We'll drop it at the same time of the number 3 issue.
I'm pretty sure people are going to want to have the beer best friend shirt for sure.
Yeah, well, we need to do one. That's a good call. After this show, I will text Rob and say, hey man, do a T-shirt of the beer.
Well, thank you so much, Kevin. I know I want to have you back again because there's a lot of stuff that we didn't get to unpack and talk about. And I definitely want to talk to you after this release so we can see what everyone has to say about it and get some feedback from them.
Awesome.
So is there anywhere like you want to point people to that they should follow you, that you definitely want them to push to them to?
Well, grab this book tomorrow. On Wednesday. So Wednesday, grab this book, and I'm sure you're gonna love it. If you don't love it, if you see me at a con, just come to me and tell me I did not like it. And what I will do, I will buy you a beer at the con, and we will be friends again. So that's the plan. And if you want to follow me, it's Kevin Roditeli everywhere on every social media. Well, except TikTok. I don't dance, so I'm not there. But you can follow me there, and I have many other stuff to announce. Not well, many. It sounds like I have 100 things to announce. But we got a lot of things coming up, and another series I'm writing that we should announce maybe in 2-3 months, and I'm super excited because it's a video game adaptation, so it's gonna be cool. So follow me, and grab tomorrow Freak Snow. Well, why I say tomorrow? It's Wednesday. Grab this book.
Perfect. All right, everyone, you've been told you need to go and add it at your local comic shop. Add it to your pull list. You need Freak Snow, absolutely. Then have them hunt down this first series. which should be
Hell
available. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us
Thank
for
you.
this.
It's a pleasure.
Leave. We have more stuff going on in the experience, and we'll have Kevin back. So let us know if you loved talking to him, and give us feedback about that. And we'll see you guys in just a couple minutes.
Awesome. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Kevin.